Welcome to part 5 of our Survivor Bible Study series. This week we will be discussing how to survive my fear of rejection. Pastor Bo put Proverbs 29:25. I want to read this to you. It says, "Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety." Man, that is so true. And he gives us a few things here. It says how the fear of rejection harms me. Maybe in your life you have experienced an opportunity where you have been afraid of being rejected, and it has prevented you from maybe accomplishing something in your life. I'll give you a quick story in my life. Most of you know that I'm a musician. Some of you don't. Maybe you know that I am a musician. And I used to go to Nashville, and I used to go to these auditions for record labels. And one time I got an invite to go to an audition, this competition, and I get there. And as we're standing outside preparing, my band looks at me and they say, "Man, Neal, we've never seen you nervous ever before," because singing, I just get on stage and it just happens. I don't get nervous. But that day I got really nervous, and we went into the audition, and I completely blew the audition. And afterwards I realized I was so afraid of being rejected that I did not perform my best, did not do my best. Pastor Bo has some points here, some things that harm comes to us when we are afraid of being rejected. Read that list of that he has there and discuss in your life. Maybe you've had an opportunity, a chance where you were afraid of being rejected and you experienced some of these very same harmful effects of being afraid of being rejected. How to overcome my fear of rejection. Pastor Bo has four points for us today. The first one is face the fact that people will fail you. Number 2 is focus on how God sees me. Number 3 is forgive those who reject me. And number 4, fall back on God's unconditional love. Man, that very first point, that's always a tough one for me, because I think we have expectations of what we want people to do. But if you look at that scripture that he has there, Galatians 1:10, Paul says he's not trying to win people's approval if he's trying to focus on God. I mean, that is so true. If we line our lives, if we line our steps, if we line our decisions, if we line the direction of our life up with what God has for us, then we find ourselves no longer trying to please people. We're no longer looking for their acceptance and their approval, but instead we're looking for God's. And if we're looking for God's approval, then we can't be let down by the fact that no one, he says, Pastor Bo says here, that it is impossible for people to love us as much as we need. Man, what a great revelation that is. And if we get a hold of that, how much freedom that we can have in that. Because when we can live in that, we can also live in what point number 4 says. We can live in God's unconditional love. And I love the final scripture that he has for us there in 1 John 4:18. He says, "Perfect love casts out fear." If we'll learn to live in God's unconditional love, then we'll no longer fear the rejection of others. Take the time to look at these other points here and discuss them amongst your group, and discuss how maybe in your life you've had opportunities, you've had times where you've just been totally rejected, felt totally rejected because of your fear of others.